M, F, ECS, and a poor boy. Hey, guys. Another day, another story. What I'm about to tell you now is the truth, and nothing but the truth. I wish I was only lying, since it always breaks my heart when I think about the child I'm going to talk about. To start it off, the entitled mother will be called M, the father will be named F, and the two entitled children will be called EC1 and EC2. The boy, aka the mentally and physically disabled child, will be called PB. I cannot tell you much about PB's illness, since I do not want to share wrong information. All I know is that genetic disease, apparently only boys get it, and that he cannot walk, speak, not even eat/drink. He barely grows, either. It is also for a fact that this boy will not make it past 18. Of course the given situation is hard, but that the parents love their son either way, right? Not in this case, sadly. M's first child was a daughter, EC1. The second child she was getting was PB, and during the pregnancy, there were difficulties. Something seemed wrong with the child growing in M, and the doctor diagnosed said illness after the birth. They found out that only boys can get it, and that every boy M would birth would be as sick as PB. How I know this? M told me that herself when she bragged about how she loved her child, and how much trouble she had to put up with. Well, not too long after PB, she got pregnant again, even though she was very well aware of the risk. Luckily, it turned out to be a girl, EC2. Now, let's get to the real story. Nothing about this has made M entitled, really. But what I'm gonna tell you now might change your mind. When M married F, they threw this big wedding party. PN was there, but other than his siblings, he was not allowed to sit at the family table. He had to sit at a table away from them and had to leave after the photos were shot. He hadn't even been allowed in church. All that because he drooled, wasn't really able to eat or speak, and didn't really react, so he was too much of a hassle to them. But that wasn't the only time PB has to spend his time away from his family. Most of his time he lives in a separated apartment, with a staff member that looks after him. The staff member has to work on Sundays, too, so M and F can sleep in. They do not want to struggle on such a holy day, and nobody can expect that. That being said, I'd like you to know that the staff spends the most time with PB. She takes him on walks, she feeds him, she dresses him, while M and F only have eyes for EC1 and EC2, who deny having a brother. I know that because I see the staff around with PB whenever I see him, and I believe he wouldn't get a hint of fresh air if she wasn't there, and I watched over the siblings during a work experience. Often enough, M and F say that they only have 2 kids, and when people ask about their son, they just shrug. As if he doesn't exist. Well, to the outside, it seems like they don't care about their son. They at least do not really mention him. Unless they can get money out of him. They appear on the papers with him and give interviews about how hard it is to live with him and how painful it is. How they need the money desperately. You do not want to know how much donations they were already given, and let us not speak about the things they get from the government. Sadly, they often spend the money on themselves, vacation, toys for the other kids, and not on PB. For example, almost every time I see him, he wears the same worn sweater, it even has holes in them. You see, they use the child for money. At least in my opinion. They go on vacation, they go to various events, but only with EC1 and EC2. PB has to stay home. They don't even take him shopping. Believe me, I do not think dealing with such a heavy illness is easy, but since he was born, I have never really seen him with his parents. Only with staff. I bet he considers the women looking after him as his mother. I just saw him today while walking my dog, and even on holiday, he isn't with his family. A staff member pushed his wheelchair. Edit 1, this got deleted for some reason. Edit 2, this is from my point of view and my knowledge, okay. Things I have stated here have been witnessed by me, or seen by me. If you'd like to claim this fake or as conclusions, then I'm okay with that. But you can gladly ask me about this in the DMs. Edit 3, I can't really do anything. Like, I'd be the only one stepping up against them, they have a big influence on my small ass village. Perhaps I can send an anonymous tip. Edit 4, no threats. Not to them, not to me. I'll delete this post otherwise, I suppose. Edit 5, he's suffering of centronuclear myopathy. This would affect every son the couple has. My understanding of sex-linked conditions, hemophilia and red/green color blindness are typical, is that they are carried on the X chromosome, and are recessive. One good copy means you don't have the condition. If this applied to the condition in question, you'd expect sons to have a 50% chance of getting it. Flip a coin as to whether they get a good X or a bad X from their mother, they get a Y from their father. Daughters would have a 50% chance of being a carrier, good X from father, he doesn't have the condition, and either good or bad from mother. The only way for sons to be guaranteed to have the condition, and daughters guaranteed to be carriers, is if the mother has two bad copies of the gene, which would cause her to have the condition. There are some disorders that are Y-linked, though they're very rare. And since the father is unaffected, well, maybe it depends on both chromosomes. The father's Y chromosome carries something defective, but the disease only presents itself when a corresponding gene on the X chromosome is also messed up. That's only a hypothesis though, genetics are weird.